sunrise. I'm laying in bed with bloodshot eyes.
Hello, welcome to East Coast DNA Mother's Day special. We don't have a mother with us for our special guest today, but we did go to a mother's market. You stay tuned for the end of the episode. We'll have a guest on. We'll talk about the Mother's Market Collective and where you can catch them and the vendors that were available today. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And for those that are back here for a music special, we have Jesse Patrick back. Welcome, Jesse.
What's up?
So, Jesse, we had promised back when we had our interview a few months back that in the new year with you doing some gigs that we'd try to do a on the road episode.
Oh, yeah.
And this is my first official mobile on the road. I've done on the road where I traveled, but not traveling. So thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, man, thanks for coming to hang out. It was a beautiful day. The Mother's Day market. Happy Mommy's Day, everybody.
So you took me today down for your gig in Tatumgush at the Jost Wineries. They had the Mother's Market going on, so there was lots of vendors on site for people to get some gift ideas. Important to note, it's not just a Mother's Day market. That Mother's Market does run throughout the year, and there's actually events and markets available Canada-wide. So we'll get more into that at the end of the episode. And the performances included in today's episode were from today's visit to the winery. So, Jesse, how did you get involved with these people in the first place that you were actually ripped out here to Tatumgush? I know you were in Pictou County to start with for a visit, and we took the drive, but what led you to this location in the first place?
Instagram.
The power of Instagram.
The power of Instagram.
And actually, funny enough, some of our viewers are watching this on Instagram today. If you look in the description of the episode, you'll see many, many tags, a little bit more than I usually have, and they're not all musicians. A lot of them are the vendors that were available at today's market. So anyone out there watching, go click on some of those links here on Instagram to see if you can find a couple of vendors you might want to follow. There's lots of
that
products.
PBJ food truck, that burger was fire.
A nice handmade burger instead of your typical frozen fried burger.
If it wasn't a double patty, I'd have gone back for another one.
There you go. Kudos to PB&J. Hopefully we see them at some future festivals this summer. Now, what's going on? You have a few different projects on the go that I'm partially aware of with a few of them. You do have the full band that we talked about a lot on the last episode that we featured you on. We had a musical performance with the full lineup.
Yeah.
And today was a solo gig.
Yep.
So now that we're getting into the warmer weather, and if anybody can see out the window, look at that beautiful little beach and ocean view that we have. So speaking of the beach and ocean view, our summer weather's here. Will Jesse Patrick be on the scene more with solo activities throughout the summer, or are you doing some full band performances as well?
I'd like to say a healthy mixture of both.
That's good to hear.
I've got quite a few bookings right now. We've got a show coming up in a couple weeks in Dartmouth at Treble Pub, where I'm bringing out the full lineup for Soul Saturday night. We're going to do all blues, Motown, soul on May 17th. And I'm at... Is it the day before that? I think I'm at Salt and Ash. I had quite a few bookings at Salt and Ash on the waterfront. I got a partial contract with Ambassadors going back to doing the booze cruises, so be out on the ships this summer, a little bit closer to home.
Yeah, and you have done those before.
Oh yeah, the year before we did the cruise ship, we did a full contract, and then we were offered to come back on the second year for the Silva, but then the cruise ship came through, so we had to pick our battles there and tell them unfortunately we weren't available that year. But they were happy to bring me back this year, so
sweet.
Still get a little bit of the best of both worlds, and gonna have a new song out this summer. Maybe I'll even show you a little sneak peek.
Oh, that'd be nice to hear. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to. regardless if it ends up in the episode, you're definitely going to have to play a little snippet for me before I get out of this car. So,
Sneaky.
any big festival stages? I know there's a lot of summer festivals. Or is there anything that you're planning on hitting up on your own?
I'm gonna be around. I didn't go to heavy booking festivals this year just because a lot of festivals they book 6 to 8 months in advance.
Sure.
And my hands weren't really in a condition to make.
Yeah, I remember in the last episode you were healing from back-to-back arm injuries.
Yeah, so I really just wanted to kind of take my time and take it easy this year. But this week that we're on here, I'll be, 4 shows in 5 days. So that's kind of the heaviest that I've done since. And,
Yep.
my fingers are a little bit shredded at the top, but
Fair.
my wrists are feeling good, so.
Well, that's good.
That's a
So
good sign.
you're definitely on the mend. You're not reverting anyway.
Yeah, and we're down in Atlanta in August, right?
Yes.
So, doing the International Singer-Songwriter Awards. So that'll be broadcasted on Roku TV. That was more my only real focus to kind of figure out this year
Yeah,
and
that's
just
a big event.
let everything kind of come to me this year. And I laid back. I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself for bookings, and when the nice weather hit, the calls started coming, and that's a good feeling that I can take that time off. And I was a little worried that I would be kind of light this year, but
Yes.
I'm pretty heavy booked, and I guess I can say, because we did confirm it this week, there's a new gay cabaret opening up in Halifax, actually, called Rumors.
Okay.
And I'm going to be hosting a karaoke show there, so
Awesome.
I'm actually really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be fun and something really out of my element and completely different, and a whole kind of different level of fun. And
Yeah. And which area is that going to be in, or do you know the actual location?
it's on Lower Water Street.
Okay.
In Halifax there, so
That'll be another one for the podcast to check out. We like to check out venues in the city whenever they open.
yeah, so we'll be doing a weekly karaoke there, and I'm gonna try and bring out some ringers for like a grand opening for them, and I got a few people in mind that I'd really like to reach out to for that, so I'm gonna see what Music Nova Scotia says. I know that they're big supporters of LGBTQ community. Geez, words can't work today, but
You did just finish with a 4-hour set, so.
I think my brain's a little mushy, but they're big supporters of the community, and I think it'd be really cool if we can get some promo for Rumors.
Absolutely.
It's been a while since we've had a cabaret in town.
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
even know
that's
they still
exciting.
did cabaret licensing.
Yeah, I know that those are rare, especially in the last couple of years where when we started reopening, things didn't reopen the way they did. There's not as many 24-hour stores anymore, and the venues seem to have performances end a lot earlier in general, so it'd be nice to see a cabaret open and see what kind of audience that brings in.
Yeah, I met with, I've been talking to the owner. They seem like really nice people, and it's just refreshing that they want to do something just good for the community in general.
Yeah.
And so I'm going in next week to get a sneak peek at the renovations and
Awesome.
see what it's about and see what kind of equipment they're going to need and help them get all set up. And
So you're all set
Boogie on
with
down.
new music. You have performances set up, both solo and with the full band. Hey, is the new music going to be solo, or is it going to be full band? Is there a little bit of both for there too?
yeah, I'm going to be mixing it up a little bit. There's
Okay.
gonna be some do you remember the Marshall Mathers LP?
Yeah.
There were 22 songs on it, but a lot of them were little skits.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do something kind of like that, have some
Cool,
little
yeah.
interlude stories and little freestyles and free verses in between songs. I just put the finishing touches on the Dark Side of the Blues, which is gonna be the title track for the next project, and gonna start nailing away at that one and getting it recorded soon because it's a pretty cool tune.
And getting ready for going down to Atlanta is going to be a big task, but once you go down there, it's the International Singer-Songwriter Award that you're going down to. You already know that you've won?
No, I won an award last year.
Oh, okay.
We won Best Video.
Mm-hmm.
So we were gold winners in 2023. We found out when we were away on the cruise ships.
Oh, okay.
The CEO's name is Tamani, and she's amazing. She's an absolute sweetheart. And she reached out to me and was like, "Hey, like we really like what you're putting out there. Like, how would you feel about coming to Atlanta to be one of our main stage performers?"
Awesome.
At the Sandy Springs Performing Arts Center, which is, I believe, it's in the North Atlanta, and it's about 2,000 people. So like, for me to do that, like not opening for somebody, like to go there and have my own performing slot is really just exciting. I'm pretty stoked, and they're putting my face on a billboard in Atlanta, which
that's exciting.
That's just like it's just a surreal thought to think that any of that is even happening.
So do you know, outside of the specific people that would have invited you down, like, do you have any type of following in the United States at this moment, or is this going to be your break into the market?
Oh no. Nashville was very good. Made lots of connections down there.
Cool.
I've been getting a lot more opportunities in the States than, even in hometown, and it's really cool for sure, but it's not as financially feasible, right? So even though I'm getting all these great opportunities, I can't just like take off for a gig or two and then come back. Like, so it's really cool that I've got this growing following in the States specifically. I hope that something works out, that maybe I can be down there a little bit more and like have the best of both worlds.
That would be nice for sure. Now, as far as Canada side, since that's my preferred country for musical performances, have you toured much west? Like, you've gone outside of province, but how far have you been across Canada?
Out west is where I really started to grow as a musician. I joined a band called Uncrowned Kings in Lloydminster when I was living there, with one of my best friends to this day. His name's Brent Ferentz. Amazing songwriter, and just really cool dude, man. We hit it off, and we were doing duo stuff. We had a band. We got to open for April Wine, and we got to do some really cool stuff in that band. That was the first band that I ever had a headlining show, and then I ended up moving to Winnipeg, playing with Stacey James and the Kick. We did some cool events there. We did LME showcases. I played some of the little bars there. I did a battle rap in Winnipeg. I've done battle raps in Medicine Hat. I've been out performing in Kelowna. Everywhere basically, except for I haven't made it as far as Vancouver.
Okay.
I've played in Nunavut.
That's amazing. How was that experience?
Nunavut was cool. I used to run an open mic at a bar up there when I was living there.
Was the bar more like pub style, like we have here, or?
No, it was like a bar.
Yeah.
And at the time, like, there was no liquor stores or anything like that up there, so like you could only drink at the bars.
Wow.
And I was performing there at the Storehouse and the Nav. Played disco once. It's called the Discovery. We just called it the Disco. It was interesting up there. I really was glad to get the experience of living in the Arctic for a little bit, getting to jam some tunes there. It's where I met my brother Adam, and he was one of my biggest supporters my entire music career. That man followed me across the country everywhere I went to watch me play. And fortunately, he passed away a few years ago. And like, as a writers, we all have people that we send stuff to get like opinions for.
Sure.
And Adam was always my guy for that. Like, whenever I was writing something, I would send him the written material and be like, no music, no reference to what this is really going to sound like. Like, does the spec? And he would give me some really weird descriptions for my songs. When I was working on a song that'll be on the next record called I Met the Devil on a Sunday. I sent him kind of a scratch track of it, and he's just like, bro, this makes me want to do the Ric Flair woo and walk down the wrestling ring.
Awesome.
He was always that guy, and you know, he took a plane and a 16-hour bus ride, him and his boy Frenchie, to come see me open for April Wine, and was there for my first headlining show. He then came and followed me through Banff, and when me and Anthony were doing New Jack Break, you know, like, out west is really where it became real for me. And then when I moved back to Nova Scotia, I'd already kind of built my EPK and my resume, and you know, most people hadn't heard from me since the Elements League days at that point. And I just kind of came out and started hustling open mics and got to do some cool things and just put myself in rooms with people way more talented than myself, because you know, like, I'm okay at what I do, but I'm good at what I do because of guys like Charlie Acorn that have been mentoring me, and like Robert Campbell, and you know, all these wonderful people that I've had the pleasure of sharing the stage with. You know, Jester J. Brown, like, I learned a lot of guitar playing just watching Jester J play. You know, jamming with George Wolf, like, you know, I'm not a bassist, but like his groove just, I really take that kind of into consideration as I was doing it. You know, these guys that have been around so much longer than me, and you know, Ryan Roberts and his songwriting and bringing me out on stage with him and stuff like that. Like, I've been really blessed to get the mentorship that I've had behind the scenes to have any of these opportunities that I have in front of me.
That's amazing. Shout out to Ryan. I just met him briefly over the weekend. He was performing on a few of the showcases that I've seen.
Love you.
And actually, speaking of shout outs, we should probably also give a shout out to one of your bandmates. Michelle Calder had a new single out this week.
Single!
So I'll add a tag in the description for Michelle as well, and if she wants to come back on for another feature, we'll do one with her as well. So getting back to you, for the open mics, I know that you've been doing some open mics and some karaoke nights. I think you were hosting at one point there.
Yeah, karaoke just kind of weirdly fell into my lap, you know, with my hands being a little out of commission and not really being sure of what my next steps were. Alex Rogerson is, you know, one of my best friends, and she does karaoke all over the province. She ended up moving back to the South Shore. So she was giving up some of her city gigs, and they were offered to me through, you know, mutual friends and with her blessing, absolutely, and came out and went for her final night in the city, and I've been doing that at various places now, just for a little bit of a steady weekly thing, and you know, I'm actually really enjoying it. You know, I've always been a anti-karaoke person. I've never really been a big fan, but I always never really felt comfortable. I'm comfortable with a guitar in my hand and doing my own thing and like singing tunes in my own keys, and you know, karaoke is bringing out a different type of singer in me for sure, because I'm singing in a very different way than I'm used to, and you know, I'm just hanging out with people that love music, and that's really what the job should be at the end of the day.
So do you find that doing like both of those, where they're not necessarily genre specific, does that influence your solo set a little bit, where you have a lot of covers incorporated in your solo set? Are you picking up on what is popular with people as far as karaoke's and open mics?
I've never really been that way. Like, I try and stay very authentic with my shows, and I don't sing the same songs at shows as I do at karaoke, because I just don't.
Yep.
But like, I have kind of a style and a groove to my guitar playing, and I try and keep it, you know, though I have many genres that I dabble in, I try and make sure that it all makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, it's not uncommon for me at a karaoke night to sing Bye 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 by NSYNC, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Now, you actually covered Britney Spears today in your performance as well, so
that one I have been doing for a while.
Do you actually have an affinity for some of the bubblegum pop of the late
Talk about it,
90s?
man. I love bubblegum pop. Anyone who says they don't love bubblegum pop is lying.
Oh, everyone's tapping their toes and knows some words for sure. So, kind of along the same lines as that too, I'm curious where you started off rap and then started to incorporate your blues music, I guess, is primarily what you would call the genre that you're pulling from. But
Yeah, sure.
would you say that when you play new markets like the United States, or when you do shows out west, or when you get the ambassadors gig, when you're introducing yourself to a new audience, do you consciously try to incorporate some rap into the set? Because not all of your modern songs do have rap.
Sure. And the next projects will have a lot more, to be honest.
Okay.
What I learned on the cruise ships, Americans really love two types of music, country and hip hop. And if you can do both,
You're all
it's
set.
gold. So yeah, like I definitely have this more like southern gritty rockness that I've kind of picked up. Like I'm a big fan of Colt Graves and Austin Williams and Jelly Roll, you know, like some of these artists that are dabbling. I mean, I've always been a big Yellow Wolf fan. So that's kind of like, I want to be somewhere in there. Yeah, like especially in those gigs, because there's a lot of like country rap out there now.
Yeah, it seems to be an increasing fusion. There was many years where I know people like vocally were trying to figure out how they could incorporate the two genres, because it's been a long time now that those have been two of the top.
Oh yeah, and like
Probably since early 2000s. Maybe the death of nu metal kind of made it so that the genres were segregated a little bit more, and you do have more of a mainstream pop sound. You have your country sounds, which seems to incorporate a lot of mainstream pop into it as well. And then we have traditional rock bands, but you don't see them as prevalent anymore. The last
it's
year
too
or so,
bad.
maybe a little different. I'd say maybe the last 12 months or so, I see nu metal coming back.
the
And
classic rock sound just
it fizzled for a little while, but all that stuff is
it's
ebbs
out
and
there.
flows.
It just doesn't. You don't get like all of the rock radio stations only really play the classics. Like you don't hear a lot of new rock songs on.
Well, exactly, and
Stations.
we both know enough musicians that we know that there's people out there producing the music that we're looking for when we speak of rock music, but I don't think that the radio stations are necessarily picking up on it as much as they used to, so we'll have to get back to that at some point.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic of conversation.
How do you find yourself as far as classifying yourself in those categories when you're trying to lump yourself in with comparable artists? If you're trying to put together like a lineup for a gig, or maybe when you're doing your Spotify work and trying to come up with similar artists, do you lean more towards the rock, blues, or rap as far as categorization, or try to list all three as much as possible?
Definitely more towards the like blues jazz market. I
Fair.
think I fall more somewhere in there. It's just really hard because I've kind of worked hard to come up with this sound that's inspired from hip hop and classic rock and funk and soul, and it's got a little piece of all of that, but it's not like any one thing. So like when I do that stuff, I more or less I just make sure I do my research. So if I'm like pitching to, you know, a new playlister or something like that, that I know what they're looking for and that it makes sense, because typically you also have to pay for a lot of that stuff, right? So if I'm gonna put money into something, I'm gonna at least make it my effort to make sure it goes somewhere that it fits. And you know, that's why I really like companies like Groover, for example, where they've got these lists of different media things that you're looking for, or like playlisters or whatever it is, festival organizers, and they have their own description of what they're looking for and like similar artists that they're looking for, so you can really tailor, you know, and make the connections personally. You know, like their contact information is given to you and you can create networks, and that's really kind of what I've done that anyone that's put me on a Spotify playlist or whatever, like I've been able to connect with them personally and like thank them and be like, yo, like, can I send you more stuff when I got it? Or, hey, I'm gonna be in this area, or hey, I'd really like to come out to this area. Throw me something here and a contact here and a contact there, and maybe I can make something swing, and you know, I'll split whatever comes in, like whatever you kind of got to do, right? At the end of the day, you know, we all just love to play music and travel, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this, right?
Absolutely. And so we will hopefully be traveling together with your Atlanta gig at the end of the summer.
Yeah, I'm so stoked for it.
Lots of content to come in relation to that, and hopefully some more travel videos to go along with that as well.
I'm never gonna say no to a nice Sunday drive, man.
And now we do have some background music to go with our Sunday drive theme as well. I'm curious if there's any other, since your circles and my circles in the music industry definitely overlap, but you hang around some bands that I don't hang around, but I'm aware of. Is there any artists that you'd like to put a little bit of a spotlight on the next couple months? Maybe some of your friends or people you've performed with over the last little while?
Even this guy that's on right now, his name is Bill Grady. I met him at the International Blues Challenge in Memphis.
Amazing.
He's dope. He can play. He was playing just before, I think he was on 2 people before John Hines. It was Bill Grady, and then the guy who ended up winning, his name was Frank Sultana. He was the next performer, and then it was John Hines. They had a really amazing room for artists that were in that category.
Were there a lot of artists that happened to be from Nova Scotia, since yourself and John are both from this area?
No. The way that the International Blues Challenge works is each blues society internationally sends either a solo duo act, they compete in one category, and they send a band down.
Okay.
So the year that me and Tyler competed for the International Blues Challenge, John Hines was selected to go.
Okay.
He had an amazing showcase. I thought it was going to be him or JP LeBlanc, and John Hines ended up going. And Joe Murphy's band ended up going for the Blues Challenge that year.
Oh, okay.
So me and Tyler went down as supporters of John. You know, he's a really good buddy of ours, and just wanted to go see him do his thing and hang out. And Memphis got really kind of weird. It was a really weird time. There was some stuff going on where this African was murdered down there by 5 cops, and he was like taken to different locations and beaten, and there were 5 officers facing charges, and the video footage was being released that week, and the news was just basically all over the news saying, like, they weren't even saying like protest peacefully. They were basically saying, if there's any protesting, we're going to bring out the National Guard.
Yeah.
So we ended up cutting our trip short in Memphis and started booking some more stuff in Nashville because we were heading there the next week. So we took the extra 4 days in Nashville and got out before things got kind of crazy in Memphis.
That is an insane thing. We think of flipping over to the country just below us, that everything's the exact same here, but there's a little bit more tension. I do know that I've been getting around with the Artists for Palestine pin on one of my jackets, so I feel like I've advertised a little bit my opinion on that, even though I'm not super political. I have been following the news enough to realize that down in New York, just recently, university students had staged a protest, and they did bring in military to round them all up, and it looked a little brute force, so I'm glad I'm not down there for sure. Both free countries, but speaking your mind in some areas is maybe not as favorable as others. Another reason to be thankful for us to be here in Nova Scotia. We have too many trees to be going around arresting everybody all the time. So now that we're hitting the summer, We know that we have lots of outdoor stages. I really liked being outdoor for the afternoon with the Jost Winery, and it was nice that there was a market going on, but the patios are opening up for all of these places, and I do know that you just recently performed at the Truro Mall. They have the new Hub Center, and they have a patio on the back.
Performed is a choice word.
Yeah. How did that go? I know that you had a little bit of an adverse.
I stopped breathing.
Did that happen that early in your set that you didn't perform?
Oh no, I'm just kidding. It was like the last, I don't know, half an hour that it got really bad. I took my first asthma attack in years.
Yeah. And
like it was brutal. Like thank God the hospital was literally a 5-minute drive away. I was barely breathing. They were prepping me to they thought I had a collapsed lung when I walked in there.
Wow.
And they just started shooting me up with every puffer that they could find until my airwaves opened, and then when they opened, everything kind of started to chill out. It was took me back to my youth.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I haven't had a full-blown asthma attack since I was probably 20, and then before that at maybe 13.
Wow.
So it was definitely not something I was prepared for.
Yeah.
But the whole show, I could feel it was kind of progressing. I was like, okay, this is gonna calm down, and then no, it's not calming down, and then it was nope, I can't breathe anymore, folks. See you later.
Oh no.
I had some really good patrons there though that helped me pack up my gear.
That's nice.
Followed me to the hospital to make sure I got there, and I was pretty blessed that way. There's still a lot of good-natured people out there.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And Truro seems like a supportive community, especially there seems to be a lot of musicians have been popping up in Truro the last few years, and I've been discovering more and more as I learn about more and more of the new artists that there's a lot of established musicians that have been there, maybe not as vocal as some of the others, but there's definitely a huge community of music in that area as well.
Oh, sure. I mean, Chris Parkinson is an insane guitarist. Holy crap, that dude can play.
Now, do you have any choice venues that you're looking forward to getting to this summer, especially with the nice weather here?
I mean, I always enjoy playing at Salt and Ash, whether that's indoor or outdoor. That's just a great venue to play in. I always enjoy playing at Treble Pub. Those guys are really good to me. I'm grateful to play anywhere that anyone will have me. It's not really about anything more than that. I mean, I'm definitely excited to be on the ships just because it's a cool atmosphere being on the ships, and you never know, a lot of times it's groups, and a lot of times it's bachelor and bachelorette parties, so people are there to get wasted.
Yeah.
So you can really turn on the party music and be a little more inappropriate, for lack of better terms. I like to have fun. I like to rap. I like to fuck with people.
Sure.
And I can tell people that I'm fucking with them because they're all drunk and they want to be fucked with.
Yeah, I hear you. And I imagine the rap songs that you do have in your solo set. If you're doing any of those covers, that's the atmosphere for the good party boat.
The Gangsta's Paradise mashup with Lose Yourself and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, every party boat, people go freaking nuts.
Amazing.
And it's just fun because I can get the audience to sing most of that. So for me, it's even better.
So if there's anyone out there that is watching this that happens to be running any of these venues or these community events that are looking to bring you in,
holla.
What's the best place for them to find you? Or if there's any fans that listen to the music in this episode and they're like, hey, I want to know more about Jesse Patrick, where should they follow you?
I'm working on a transition to using my Instagram a lot more. My Instagram is pretty quiet, but I am trying to really build a cool program. We've had it in place, just I fell into this rut where I just, after getting hurt, like I didn't really want to do anything, and I just kind of stopped progressing for a minute.
Yeah.
So now I'm still like much more active on Facebook. If you Facebook Jesse Patrick, you know I'm always good to take a message. You know, I like talking to people. I love meeting people. If you're looking to book, jessepatrickmusic@gmail.com is always the best way to get me for bookings. I mean, the booking that we just left came from Instagram, so just any media, I will find it.
Let's give our viewers a little musical treat. I had captured some of the performance there this afternoon, so we'll segue now into some of your performance from the afternoon. And any viewers that stick around for the music, stay put, and we'll have a little talk from Crystal from the Mum Market Collective. Thanks, Jesse, and we'll have to have you back on before we do our Atlanta trip.
Yeah, man.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life, realize there's nothing left. I've been fasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't ever crossed a man who didn't deserve it. Being treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking, where you're walking. You and your homies may be lying and chalk. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind, like a living in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a low-down gangster, set tripping, banging. I'm a little crazy, don't arouse my anger. Oh, I'm the type of G the little homies wanna be like. On my knees in the night, skip prayers in the street light. Been spending most our lives living in this gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in this gangster's paradise. Keep spending most our lives living in this gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in this gangster's paradise. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's mama on a sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous. On the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, opens his mouth but the words won't come out. He's choking now, everybody's choking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over plow. Step back to reality, only goes gravity. Jump, he's so mad but he won't give up. And you better lose yourself in the music the moment you want. You better never let it go. Only get one shot, do not miss a chance to blow. Opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Lose yourself in the music the moment you want. You better never let it go. Only get one shot, do not miss a chance to blow. Opportunity comes once in a lifetime. In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Chilling it out, maxing, relaxing, all cooling, all shooting some b-ball outside of the school. Ran a couple of the guys, they're up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got one little fight and my mom got scared. He said, you're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air. We support Gabby when it came in. License plates and freshening the dice in the mirror. If anything, I could say that this cab was rare, but not now, forget it, go home to Bel Air. And tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? In the night, I hear me told, cold as only ever told. Somewhere far along this road, he lost his soul to a woman so heartless. Could you be so heartless? Oh, could you be so heartless? How could you be so cold as the winter wind in the breeze though? Just remember that you talking to me though. You need to watch the way you talk to me though. After all of the things that we've been through, after all of the things we got into, yeah, you did some things that you ain't told me. In the end, it's still so lonely in the night. Hear me told, cold the story ever told. Somewhere far along this road, lost a soul to a a woman so heartless? How could you be so heartless? Oh, could you be so heartless? Talk. Baby, let's just knock this off. We don't know what they've been through. They don't know about me and you. I got something new to say. You just gon' keep hating me. We're just gon' be in a days. I know I can't be wrong. I can't just make it right. I'm gonna take off tonight into the light. In the night, I hear it talk. Cold and stormy, yeah, it's on. Somewhere far along this road, lost a soul to a woman so heartless. Could you be so heartless? Oh, could you be so heartless? Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop singing. Whoa, no, that's how rough riders roll. I'm going downtown, baby, don't street in a Range Rover, street sweeper, baby, got you ready to let it go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa, listen to the loud. Light it up and take a puff, pass it to me now. Colt 45 and 2 zigzags, baby, that's all we need. We can go to the park after dark, smoke that tumbleweed. As the marijuana burns, we can take our time, singing them dirty rap songs. Stop and hit the ball like Cheech and Chong. So taste from here to Hong Kong. So roll and 83, Cadillac Coupe Bill. If my tapes and my CDs just don't sell, I bet my caddy will. I wanna be a baller, shot collar, 20-inch rims on my Impala. Smoking on that Doja. All my buddies singing No Limit Soldiers Highway. Gonna hit the highway, but there's gotta be a better way, yeah.
That's as hip-hop mashup as it gets.
East Coast DNA is here at the Jost Winery in Tattamagush, visiting Jesse Patrick here at the Mom Market. A special little market of vendors set up here today. Good opportunity to get a Mother's Day gift today, but it's not just about Mother's Day. It's a whole collective of mothers, and more on that. We have the expert herself.
Thank you. I am the director of the Mom Market North Shore here in Nova Scotia. We are a collective across all of Canada, and so we are franchised. We have over 30 market directors. We are brand new, coming to PEI, Newfoundland, and also Cape Breton, so we're super stoked about that. The Mom Market Collective was created by our founder, Jasmine. She's fabulous. She actually currently lives on the South Shore in Nova Scotia, and we are a group of moms that are directors. Our markets are created as events for everyone to come and enjoy. We often have live music, we have face painting, we sometimes have princesses or superheroes come to join our group. We cater to local vendors. We're here to really help dreams come true with our local vendors. These are entrepreneurs that have put their blood, sweat, and tears into everything that they're doing. Oftentimes, they are just kind of doing this on the side. They have full-time gigs going on, and they bring their kids sometimes with them, but it's not for vendors that are only moms. We do have vendors, all different types of vendors here. We're here really to just support local. So we appreciate you coming, supporting local. Every penny that you spend on things that are purchased from these vendors really goes into their own pockets. It helps feed their family. It helps keep a roof over their head. And we hope that you make memories here with us too. So thank you for supporting us. We appreciate it.
Reach those eyes, so don't you ever give up on me.